Hello guys and welcome back to another second gaming video. As you can see, I am here and I'm going to be showing you today how to design the absolute most efficient mall in Roblox Island. So pretty much I'm going to be showing you the best spawn for not only getting the most sales in Roblox Island, but the most money and the cheapest to design. Because, if you really wanted to, you could have, giveaways and all that other stuff. But, it's, not affordable, So, we're gonna want to first, obviously subscribe, the notifications bell on. But first, make sure your spawn has a funnel. And what I mean by this is, so let's say I'm going to reset to demonstrate this. I just reset. No. Now just reset. As you can see, I'm facing here. So I'm definitely going to want a few vending machines here because odds are when you spawn in, you'll spin around and look around. In case you don't, I want you to immediately see vending machines over in this area so that you know where you're going, what you're doing, and obviously come to my shop. And then, so right out here, we have my vending machines. The placement is very important. So you're gonna want to have a few vending machines here to lure people in. And then you're going to want to have some vending machines out here. And you're going to want to have a combination of buy and sell vending machines. But the most important general rule to follow here is make sure that these are like your best deals and your killer items. That this is, I don't know if your language arts teacher probably told you this, and you probably were like, oh my gosh, this is so boring, but it probably was. Anyways, okay, so, this is your hook, People see all these killer deals, so, some stuff to buy at, high demand items, so stuff that have been in the latest update. Because pretty much you need to hook people in. Because if you spawn into a shop and you don't really see much of anything, any great deals, you're not going to spend the next 10 minutes of your life going around through some random person off the street shop. But if you see a bunch of killer deals and then also some killer deals scattered around, especially more near the entrance to, again, motivate people to keep exploring. Pretty much what's going to happen is, lure people to explore into the deep hidden realms of your mall. So maybe you're definitely going to want some of the latest update items, some limited cry iron and other high demand items that are pretty much always in high demand. Always great to have that. So you're going to want a cry iron, and you're going to probably want to have maybe your buy over here and your sell over here. One really common mistake is that, let's say over here, I'll be buying cry iron for 100,000, and then over here, right next to it, I'm selling it for 200,000. And then you're just not going to make as much money. Some people, granted, will still buy it, but a lot of people, myself included, I'm just going to feel like I'm getting ripped off. Because how come you won't buy it? You think I should have to buy it for 200,000, and yet you're only willing to spend 100,000 on it, which tells me that there's got to be a better deal somewhere, and I'm probably just getting ripped off. So why would I want to buy that? Really, people. It's like, okay, this person is ripping me off. Let's go check out someone else's island. Next, don't have your vending machines stacked up. And what I mean by this is don't stack them. So have one here, then have one sort of no, wait, oops. This, let's say. Or, I mean, that's okay, as long as you only do one layer. Okay, not ideal, though. It's a lot easier just to have one high vending machines. Or if you absolutely need to, stack them on top of each other. But what I see every once in a while, and it's just so, like, are you intentionally trying to, like, make me not want to buy this, is where you have rows of vending machines stacked up like what I just demonstrated in a diagonal line, but like 10 layers. Because at that point, you just have to spend an hour literally obbying up to each like level of vending machines, and no one wants to do that. So you need to really lure people in. So now, I'm going to assume you're not that bad. I mean, you managed to get someone into your store. Not too shabby. Now, you, as I mentioned earlier, need to have some killer deals scattered out, but especially more towards the beginning, less towards the end. And then have your big items. So, like smelters, you're always gonna want those at the front. And then you're gonna want buffle core crystals, cry iron. Some items you might want to have in multiple locations. Just make sure they're at the same price, or just 2 vending machines next to each other if you have a really busy shop and you just don't feel like you're able to restock all your vending machines. And also, make sure you have a scattered mix of buy and sell. And I see, and a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll have, like, buy over here, sell over here. And this does make it a bit more practical, but from, let's say, as a store owner, you just want to make the maximum profit. So what you're going to want to do is make your thing almost like a maze, if you will. I mean, not exactly, but pretty much we're going to start off like this, and then we're going to sort of come around and sort of just, like, come around, and then as we get closer over here, sort of come around, and the point of doing this is, I don't know if you've ever been to like one of those big stores like IKEA or Costco or something like that, where it's like a maze, like literally. And the reason they do that, so I have been doing a lot of work for this video, but anyways, the reason they do that, because then they want you to walk past as many great deals as possible, so that you're like, oh, I don't really need this item that much, but it's such a good deal, let's just get it. And then you end up wasting a ton of money. So, like, make your paths a bit wider. So, like, if I have a vending machine here, right? My vending machine's here. Vending machine's here. Like, this is a good width, Because oops. No. Oh. So, pretty much, even maybe a block or 2 narrower, just depending on the exact specifications of your mall area. But, like, anything really narrower, it's just annoying and cluttered, and it forces your camera around. Anything much wider, though, and then you have to go like this, and you have to turn around and go like this. Because like this, you can sort of just, even, like I said, maybe a block narrower, depending, you can still really scan through, see if there's anything that you're looking to buy or sell, and then you can, like, walk up to that to really see if that's a decent price. So next, you're going to want to come around, and the next thing we're going to be discussing is just organizing your mall. So like you're gonna start off, and then so you'll have a what should I call it, like a smelter deal here, and let's say for okay, so all prices mentioned in this video are just for an example. Please don't go out, sell this, find out that you're selling for way too high or way too low. I mean, prices in islands change pretty much on a day-to-day basis. So yeah. Okay, so here, let's say this is our smelter. Over here, we'll probably maybe have like a buff crystal, maybe like some red bronze, or even just the various things that you can make with bronze. So, and steel, so like the plates and all that other stuff, because for a lot of people it's easier just to go buy a bunch of like steel plates or steel rods from someone instead of getting some let's say steel press and all the other stuff and farming. It's just, for some, it's just, if you can, you might as well just go out and buy it because it's so much easier. So we're gonna want to have a like farm items here. So things that you really need to farm to get. So also another plus to this is you can easily get these items just by doing some grinding, mostly AFKing, I should say. I mean, the only thing you'll really need to grind for is a smelter. After that, you can AFK for iron, then AFK for the steel, and then etc. You know, slowly AFK for all the things you need. Not that complicated. So, yeah. You'll also, some people will want their thing, so maybe have some of the latest items. So like even red bronze refineries and steel presses, especially the red bronze refineries, because first you have to get a copper system, then a steel system, then, and I should say you'll probably want a gold system, and then you need to combine copper and gold, and eventually you will get red bronze. But if you can afford it, you'll probably just want to buy it. So you want to make it easier for people to access those items, but also just to get a red bronze press, to skip the steel, skip the copper, skip the gold, just go straight to red bronze, or straight to whatever they need for whatever specific things they're doing. Next, you're also going to want to have update items here. So let's say right after the electrite update, you would probably want to head off to the hub, grab a bunch of electrite, and then just start selling it. I mean, right after the update, that stuff was selling for like over 20. I saw people buying it for over $50,000 a piece. And obviously by a day or two after, that fell down to 10,000. And honestly, last time I really checked, it was in like about 5 to 10,000. Obviously, don't quite quote me on these prices, but yeah. So, big update items are important. Obviously, like the furniture update, I feel like since that was update, it was more like you craft a bunch of stuff and it wasn't so useful. That update, for example, yes, people were still buying stuff from it, but not as much. So, like, after the copper update, people were buying stuff a lot more because they just needed steel. Because before that, like, having iron was pretty much all that mattered. And it still matters a lot, but now it doesn't matter as much. So, have the update items, and also have items that are constantly high in demand. So, weapons, buffalo core crystals, cry iron, all that great stuff. I will say, just don't bother with all the weapons that are like no one uses. Like, in case you've been living under a rock, no one really uses vamp bows or any of the other bows, for example. You don't, I mean, rage blades, cutlasses, all that stuff. So a rage blade, the price on them is obviously slowly going down until, since they're not that old, all things considered, and then it'll probably take them some time until they settle down. Cutlasses, please, people, don't sell items like that are so limited. Hold them. I mean, the price is just climbing every day, and if you sell them in a month, in 2 months, they'll be worth so much more. And to be honest with you, it's pretty stupid to sell them right now. I mean, you can, but you're just losing money that you could have otherwise gained by doing this a bit later. So, next, after that, you're going to want to have things that are always in demand, but the demand is like medium. So, like, let's say berry seeds are a great example. The demand has never been that high since they've always been in the game, but at the same time, they've never lost value really. They're still, I mean, their price has pretty much stabled out, and now it's pretty much been worth just about the same amount for a long time. Because berries are a great versatile way to make money, especially to make money AFK. So the price is pretty much stable. So sell those, have other similar things that are like gold, at this point probably even electrite, fireworks, like obby stuff. All this stuff is like, the demand isn't particularly high, but especially Game Pass items, so like things from the floral bench, the lighting station, the demand isn't really high, but at the same time, like, it's not low. So like the stuff here in the lighting station, I mean, like, especially things like the lantern, the lamppost, the candle, the firefly wall lamp. I mean, after the furniture update where I can go into my workbench, and I mean, I can literally get so many of these different lights. It's sorta, the demand for like lighting items went down. Another thing that is worth something now, but will be worth a lot more in the future, is the old blueprints. So what I mean by this, like barbecue blueprints, picnic table blueprints. They're right now. Your average Islands player doesn't really know. Really, I would say, so they're not really selling, but eventually, of course, they will become limited. Also, since most people put them into their workbench, so it's like the demand is definitely gonna go up in coming months. Floral bench, the demand has pretty much always been there. I mean, the carpentry bench does have some stuff, but it's not nearly as much stuff as, let's say, the floral bench. The obby kit, I mean, obbies aren't that high in demand, but people will still buy them for a good price, and the demand isn't so low that only like 2 people in Islands want it. So definitely want to sell those. Again, berry seeds, flowers are a big one, and then also the clay. Anything from the Christmas update, snowmen, that sort of thing. Presents, like anything else, like the Christmas update, I wouldn't sell it right now, because soon as the Christmas update is just more and more in the past, it will be worth so much more. But that's just another thing to consider. You will eventually want to sell these in your shop. And in that case, I would put them in the medium demand area. Next, we're going to have low demand items. So items that people like rarely ever need, but again, continuing our strategy from earlier, sprinkling in some good deals. So like vamp bows, that sort of miscellaneous stuff. Not only that, miscellaneous, and then just clearance, which random things. And I mean, you're like, okay, I don't need this, but I might as well stick it in a vending machine. For one, having empty vending machines just makes your shop look bad, and why not? And those types of items, you're going to want to have a dedicated miscellaneous section for. And obviously, as you go, you can expand these sections to see what items seem to always sell better, try to find similar items. And also the demand in Island is always changing. So in a month, you might want to have your shop, your layout will be, you might want to make it completely different for max profit. So like, make sure your layout is completely evolving. Like, before the Buffalo Core Island, no one really needed, not Buffalo Core Island, before the whole randomizer thing, no one needed a Buffalo Core crystal. After that, the demand really went up. So obviously, before that, you probably would have had your buff crystal, let's say, maybe back here, even in medium, quite possibly even the low demand section, if you're following any sort of version of this template for a mall. So, it's pretty standard, but at the same time, you need to make sure your layout is it's constantly evolving. Also, just changing out the look of your mall. And what I mean by this is make it look different. So even if you just change the front up, move stuff around, it just, because let's say I visited your island yesterday, but if it's a new look, odds are I won't remember it, visit it again, and every time someone comes through your mall, that's just another chance you have for money. Next, you're probably going to eventually want to expand to multiple floors. And when you do this, you're probably not going to want access just straight up to the last floor, because what you want, because if people go straight up to your low demand items, pretty much what's going to happen, they're not going to see anything they want, they're going to leave. So you need to really make sure everyone is funneled through that nice high demand section so that they see they definitely need to be at your shop, because that's where all the great deals are. And then that's just, again, more profit, and it's just more efficiency. Because don't forget, there is a limit as to people on your island. So if you can just get each person to spend twice as much, you can double your profits. Also, another thing is, if you can control the market for something, they can you can if you right after an update, it's not the best, most kind strategy, but honestly, I don't think many people care. Just do a bit of price gouging, after an update, you'll probably be able to sell the items for more than they're worth. like electrite, going back to that example, is it really worth $50,000? No. But after an update, people just really want to get their hands on the new item. So you're definitely going to want to sell new items at a higher price. And also, always start your items off at a bit more than what you think their value is. And then if you see, if they're just selling off extremely fast, then you might have priced a bit low, and it's definitely going to be okay to raise the price. If it's not selling, then one of two things happen. Evaluate your price, make sure it's like a good price, or two, it might just be a low demand item and nobody really is interested in buying that. In that case, you're going to want to move it farther back in your shop, just because if it's a low demand item, you really want, again, to funnel people past your high demand items, because those are really should be your priority. And especially make sure to keep stuff full, especially at the entrance to your shop. Make it look more appealing. I mean, there's nothing worse than having a shop that's practically all empty. I mean, if you're opening, let's say, a new floor or a new section, just block it off until it's ready, so that people aren't just walking past row after row of empty vending machines, or just fill them up with stuff. I mean, how hard is that? And it just makes your shop look so much nicer, even if you're just filling it up with random stuff. It just, as soon as you spawn in, you'll see everything's full, and you're so much more likely just to stay and enjoy your shopping experience. So one last thing is just make sure your shop is nice enough. I mean, what I mean by this is maybe add some decorations and stuff. Don't break it up a bit, because like we walk into this shop, so we spawn. Okay, so as you can see, we spawn in, we see the shop, we see some great deals, we go over here, we buy. Oh, wow, that's a great deal. Need to buy this. Wow, they have all the great items. Get a bit of this, get a bit of that, and then just walk around, scan the area for any great deals, go up to the next floor, and oh, wow, that's a great deal. Get that, and that will just motivate you to go on a bit farther and find another great deal. And pretty much that's how you want your mall to work. I hope you enjoyed this video. And I know it was a much longer video than I would normally do, but I really was not able to get this any shorter. And I feel like having a good mall is very important, because that's pretty much the best way to make money. And it's like, okay, I want to make money, and I want my shop to be nice and efficient, because it's just like the starting costs, to be honest with you, for starting a shop are pretty high. I mean, you need vending machines, you need to build a nice building, decorate it, everything. So it's like, it really needs to be a nice thing. It costs a lot to start. So you really want to make sure you're getting as much money per vending machine that you buy, and so you're getting a highest return on investment, if you will. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe with the notifications bell on. Till next time, I'm the Second Gaming, and stay tuned for a bunch more videos, not only about malls and islands, but just about islands and Roblox in general. See you in the next one. Peace.